All right, let's dive right into this. If you are feeling completely overwhelmed by the massive FGEI EST syllabus, well, consider this explainer your ultimate roadmap. You know, when you first look at a comprehensive exam syllabus like this one, it is entirely normal to feel like you're staring at the base of a mountain you just don't know how to climb. But here is the secret. Success isn't about working harder. It is about working smarter. It's about understanding exactly how this test is built. We've done the heavy lifting and analyzed the source material, and we're going to break it all down into clear categories so you can execute an easy, highly targeted study plan.
So here is the game plan for today. We're going to hit the exam blueprint, do a course subject breakdown, open up the pedagogy toolkit, talk about teacher ethics and growth, and finally, wrap it all up with your study action plan.
First up, Section 1, the exam blueprint. Let's just zoom out for a second and look at the macro structure of this test, because honestly, understanding the layout is half the battle. The beauty of this exam structure is that it's a perfectly balanced puzzle. It's divided into exactly 5 20% chunks, which should instantly calm your nerves. There's no single monster subject that is going to make or break you here. You've got English, Pakistan studies, mathematics, general science, and professional pedagogy, and they all carry the exact same weight. What does that mean for you? It means your study plan needs to be equally balanced. You can't just cram math and totally ignore pedagogy. You need a systematic approach to master all 5 pieces of the pie.
Moving right along to Section 2, our core subject breakdown. Let's look at how this builds your foundational knowledge across the 4 core academic subjects, which, by the way, make up 80% of your total score. Categorizing your study sessions is an absolute game changer here. For English, the source material explicitly targets vocabulary usage, affixes, homophones, and core grammar. For Pakistan studies, you're looking at geography and history, really connecting the past to the present. Over in mathematics, it starts right at the foundation with number systems and operations. And in general science, you've got to understand the specific phenomena listed on the syllabus, things like earth sciences, sound and light. If you categorize your prep into these specific focus areas, you'll stop wandering aimlessly through massive textbooks. Next up is Section 3, the Pedagogy Toolkit. Now we enter the true heart of the exam, and honestly, of your future profession. This final 20% isn't just about what you know, it is all about how you teach it. Take instructional planning, for example. It isn't just some dry test topic, it's literally your blueprint. And every great plan starts with clear, measurable learning objectives using frameworks like Bloom's taxonomy. The source material defines this planning as making concrete decisions about what students will learn, how they're going to learn it, and how you will actually know they learned it. It's a completely cyclical process. You don't just teach a lesson and walk away. You pre-assess, you design, you instruct, and then you reassess. It is the absolute foundation of your classroom. Now think about the massive contrast between traditional, teacher-led delivery and the modern reality of adapting to individual students. A master teacher has a really diverse toolkit. Direct instruction, that's highly teacher-led, and it's absolutely perfect for introducing brand new foundational skills. But differentiated instruction, well, that's where the magic happens for diverse classrooms. This is where you proactively plan to vary the content, the process, the product, and even the learning environment based on exactly what each student is ready for. You will definitely be tested on when to deploy which strategy. You are also absolutely going to need to recognize problem-based learning, or PBL. This approach flips the script and shifts the focus to students actively solving real-world challenges. It's a huge shift from old-school rote memorization. Instead of just handing a student a fact, you present them with an authentic, complex question, and they spend an extended period investigating it. This strategy is heavily emphasized in the syllabus because it builds deep critical thinking. As a candidate, you need to spot this definition the very second it pops up on your exam.
And if you are tested on teaching general science, this 5-step framework is your gold standard for inquiry-based learning. The 5E model is exactly how you foster curiosity and build a scientific mindset. It goes like this. You start by engaging the students, then let them explore through hands-on experiments. Next, you explain the concepts, you elaborate on them to really deepen the understanding, and finally, evaluate their learning. When you see an exam question about teaching science effectively, look for the answer that aligns with questioning, hypothesizing, and these 5 E's.
That brings us to Section 4, Teacher Ethics and Growth. Once you understand how to teach, the syllabus tests you on how to grow and act as a professional educator. Teaching is a lifelong journey. Professional development isn't just some box to check for district requirements. Its primary purpose is to actually improve your teaching practice. The exam loves to test your ability to categorize these development types.
Earning a master's degree or securing a formal certification, that goes in the formal category. But participating in professional learning communities, engaging in peer coaching, or keeping up with reflective journaling, that's informal. Both are totally essential for your continuous growth.
The exam is also going to test your ethical compass, heavily emphasizing fairness, equity, and professional competence. The source material explicitly states, a teacher's influence extends beyond academics to shaping character. The primary ethical obligation is a commitment to students. And you know what that commitment looks like in practice? It means showing up on time and being prepared. Consistently arriving late to class and winging it is a direct violation of professional responsibility. You must treat all students with respect, avoid showing favoritism, and provide equitable opportunities to learn. Ethics aren't just a suggestion here, they are a highly testable standard. Finally, we hit Section 5, your study action plan.
We've categorized the what, so let's pivot to the how with a practical action plan. Knowing the material is one thing, but navigating the multiple choice format is what actually gets you the passing grade. Let's actively apply this right now with a real question format from the source materials. Imagine you're sitting in the exam hall and this pops up. The first and most crucial step in instructional planning is to. Your options might be to choose a fun activity, select a textbook chapter, plan the assessment, or write clear learning objectives. And the answer is to write clear, measurable learning objectives. Setting those goals is always step one, which just proves that deeply understanding these core definitions is your secret weapon for passing. You don't start with a fun activity. You start with a blueprint. If you grasp the core concept of instructional planning, you nail this question in 3 seconds flat. That is the power of categorized, smart studying.
Let's try another one to keep you on your toes. How well do you know your pedagogical theories? A lesson designed to be too difficult for students without support violates which principle of good planning? Is it alignment, scaffolding, differentiation, or something else entirely?
It's the zone of proximal development, or ZPD. If you didn't know that one off the top of your head, hey, it's a clear signal to focus some study time on the psychological theories of learning. ZPD dictates that you have to design instruction that perfectly bridges the gap between what a learner can do completely on their own and what they need just a little help to achieve. Identifying knowledge gaps like this is exactly how you should direct your study sessions moving forward. So, to pull this all together, follow this incredibly simple 4-step action plan to stop feeling overwhelmed and start preparing with real strategic precision. Step 1, respect the balance. Dedicate equal time to all 5 20% subjects. Step 2, don't just read about pedagogy, actually memorize the core definitions, like differentiated instruction and ZPD. Step 3, deeply understand frameworks like the 5E model and problem-based learning. And step 4, practice relentlessly with multiple choice questions to train your brain for the actual exam format. You know, at the end of the day, you aren't just preparing for a test, you are drafting the foundation of your entire career. The knowledge you're acquiring right now isn't just to fill in bubbles on a Scantron sheet. It is the exact toolkit you're going to use to inspire, educate, and shape the next generation. So take this blueprint, organize your categories, map out your study plan today, and go build something amazing. So, what kind of architect will you be when you finally step into your classroom? Good luck.